What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video here on Michigan Sports Talk. And Michigan just beat rival Michigan State 29-7 as they keep the Paul Bunyan trophy back in Ann Arbor. Gonna be going over key takeaways from the game, everything we learned, what Michigan has to improve on, and we're also going to talk about the scuffle that took place after the game in the tunnel as multiple Michigan State players were throwing hands to one Michigan player. It's all going to be in this video, so if you guys are new around here, make sure you guys go ahead, hit that subscribe button, leave a like, and other than that, let's go ahead and get right into it. Alright, so Michigan, they won this game. They improved to 8-0. That's all that matters. But we definitely had some red zone problems in this game. Blake Corum, however, went off again in this one. He had 2 touchdowns in this game. He scored all 2 touchdowns for the Wolverines with 33 carries, 177 yards, 1 receiving touchdown, and 1 rushing touchdown. On the stat sheet, it says 1 receiving touchdown because McCarthy did a little pitch to him that pretty much counted as a pass, apparently. Luke Schoonmaker also had a phenomenal game, 5 receptions for 70 yards. Ronnie Bell had 4 receptions for 53 yards. Donovan Edwards had 3 receptions for 38 yards. And other than that, not a whole lot. Receiving wise, passing game really wasn't that great in this one. JJ McCarthy went 15 for 25, 167 yards, and 1 touchdown. However, he was also on the ground. He had 7 carries for 50 yards. And Donovan Edwards had 10 carries, 42 yards. For Michigan State, offensively, it was literally all Keon Coleman. 5 receptions, 155 yards, and 1 touchdown. And Jaden Reed had 4 receptions, 17 yards. Peyton Thorne went for 17 for 30, 215 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Michigan had a total of 443 yards. Michigan State 252 total yards with 215 passing yards and only 37 rushing yards. Michigan, however, had 276 rushing yards and 167 passing yards. Michigan had a fumble loss from Cornelius Johnson early in the game. Peyton Thorne threw an interception late in the 4th quarter. Michigan dominated all game long. It was just really domination by field goals. So let's go ahead and talk about some key takeaways. And first of all, it's obviously the red zone offense. Michigan, they definitely have to fix the red zone offense. Luckily, red zone offense can definitely easily be fixed. We just got to finish drives. We get it to 1st and goal, and then we just can't punch it in. This was happening last year as well, going back to the Indiana game last year. We fixed it, and by the time we played Ohio State, we were punching in touchdowns. And it's really surprising, Michigan only punted 1 time in this game. You would think we had more points in this game for only punting 1 time, but we really had so many field goals in this one. Obviously, the first possession we had, Cornelius Johnson, he fumbled. That was really the only mistake offensively, except for all the field goals that we had to take. But the first time Michigan got 1st and goal, we just couldn't run it in, so then we passed it. JJ McCarthy went short to Ronnie Bell at like the 5-yard line, and really the whole game it just seemed like Michigan was just scared to throw the ball into the end zone. Maybe part of it was because, first of all, they couldn't run it into the end zone on some of the drives, and then on 3rd and goal, Michigan State knew we were going to pass the ball, so they kind of probably just put a zone over the end zone, which is obviously very hard to pass against that. Second drive we had on 1st and goal in the red zone, we punched it in on 3rd and goal. And on the 4th drive, Michigan started at their own 7. It got it all the way 1st and goal, and then again couldn't punch it in. However, JJ McCarthy threw a bullet to Luke Schoonmaker. Unfortunately, he couldn't hold it in. He probably could have caught it, and then we took 3 points there. But yeah, it's just Michigan having to finish drives out. It's definitely fixable, and we're lucky that's our only problem right now. And the score definitely could have been a lot more if we scored if we scored a touchdown on some of those drives. But we still won by 22 and really dominated Michigan State in this one. Next thing I'll touch up on is the defense. They struggled a little bit early on in the first half. They struggled really on that one drive where Michigan State threw up 2 jump balls to Keon Coleman, and one of them was a deep pass to get him near the end zone, and the other one right after that was a jump ball to the end zone. Keon Coleman brought it down. DJ Turner was covering him, and well, let's just say he picked it up in the second half. Michigan defense did a very good job in the second half adjusting and really just dominated the whole entire game. Special teams also was a big factor. They got a hand on one punt where the punter for Michigan State had trouble with the snap. It was kind of a high snap, and then I'm pretty sure like a couple punts later, even the next punt, it was another high snap, and then the punter couldn't handle that one. Michigan tackled him, got the ball in first and goal, then punched it in on second and goal with Blake Corum as he did the Paul Bunyan pose. Michigan went up 29-7, and that's really what sealed the deal. So let me know what you guys thought of this game. Obviously, you know, the big thing is going to be red zone offense, but like I said, that is easily fixable, and you know, we had to go through the same situation last year. But Paul Bunyan is back in Ann Arbor. That's all that matters. We improved to 8-0 on the season. For Michigan defensively, Junior Colson had a phenomenal game. He had 4 tackles and 6 assists. Rod Moore had that 1 interception late in the fourth quarter. He also had 4 tackles. Makari Page had 3 tackles, 3 assists. DJ Turner had 3 tackles, 1 assist. Michigan had 2 sacks in this one. Mike Morris and Mozzie Smith shared half a sack, and then Braden McGregor got 1 sack. And Mozzie Smith also had 2 tackles, 3 assist tackles. Chris Jenkins had 2 tackles and 3 assist tackles. So the defense played very well, especially in the second half. Michigan State didn't even get 1 sack in this game. JJ McCarthy, was scrambling out of the pressure. He was very good on the run. But yeah, Michigan's next game is at Rutgers. It will be a night game. Let me just say the atmosphere at the Michigan State game was phenomenal. I was personally at the game. Try to share some clips with you guys later after this video. But now let's talk about the brawl after the game. There's actually 2 players that Harbaugh said was getting assaulted by Michigan State players in the tunnel after the game. There's a video on social media of Michigan State players, like a ton of them, 10 plus Michigan State players ganging up on Michigan defensive back Jaden McBurrows. They were throwing punches and kicks. Ward Manuel and Jim Harbaugh spoke to the media on it. And Ward Manuel said, "What happened after the game is completely unacceptable. I've talked to the commissioner. He's looking into it." And then he said, "The police are also looking into it because they've seen the video and they are addressing it." He said, "We will leave it in their hands, but this is not how we should interact after a game." So this is not the way another team should grab a player and do what they did. And I just said we will let the Big Ten and law enforcement handle it. Harbaugh was really biting his tongue talking about it. Obviously, he loves his players and wants to protect them, so it must have been hard for him to hear about what happened after the game and some of his players getting, what he says, assaulted by Michigan State players. Not a good look for Michigan State at all. Not good sportsmanship either. There was another player after a second video. I don't know which player it was, but Harbaugh also said that one of the players got a nasal injury, and then Mel Tucker was actually seen in a video. Some fan was like about to touch his head, and then he reacted quickly and hit his arm back. I don't blame him for doing that, but you could definitely tell tempers were flaring after the game. So we'll see what is done with the players and everybody involved in the scuffle. Obviously Michigan should be fine. We just have a player with a potential broken nose. So like I said, not a good look for Michigan State. It's kind of stupid. They had 60 minutes of time to go out there, tackle players, and instead they decide to do it after the game in a tunnel on a couple of Michigan players. But with that being said, Michigan State moves to 3-5 on the season. Michigan improves to 8-0 on the season, 29-7. Michigan takes Paul back home. Again, the next game is at Rutgers, a night game at 7:30 p.m. And hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you guys leave a like, subscribe for more, and comment down below anything you guys have to say. And I hope you all have a great rest of your day. We will see you guys in the next video. Peace.